What's happening, everyone? Carmen Dinisco here for Made in America. One of my favorite shows, one of my favorite topics. We always got good guests, good things to talk about. Let me bring on the man himself, Mr. Christopher Guerrera. Chris, what's happening?
Hey, Carmine, how are you? Kind of excited about this whole holiday series we're doing with Made in America. We're actually got some contestants on from America's Big Deal with Joy Mangano, who you interviewed a couple of weeks ago and talked about the show and contestants and how the format is. So we're now having the contestants on our show to kind of walk the American public through what it takes to get on that show.
Yeah. Well, you know, what's great about the contestants and people are bringing on is that I'm amazed how great they're doing on the show. You know, when I first saw the show coming out, I was worried, but it's awesome. And the contestants, the products, and the outcomes are awesome, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I was in the audience for this, for our guest today. I was actually in the audience. And, you know, you see it differently than you see it on TV. I've always said that, like, I've been on Good Morning America and some of these big national networks, and you really get the view of the camera. A lot of things happening around that camera that you don't see. So being in the audience this time, it's a very different perspective, especially for me being on Shark Tank, right? Very different perspective, viewing it from home, watching as opposed to actually being on the show or being in the audience. So it's really enlightening. It's the same as watching a movie. If you ever watched a movie being filmed, you see these actors and actresses focusing on their role, when in reality, as an outsider looking in, it's such a different point of view. So today, you know, we're going to have Carolyn Barber on from America's Big Deal. She was on November 4th. It airs every Thursday, 9 p.m. I think tonight's the grand finale on USA Network. I happen to be in the audience for this one. So we're going to hear the entire experience of her getting ready, you know, and being prepared and being selected, what it was like to really understand when you see somebody on live TV, what actually has transpired. So welcome, Carolyn. Really happy to have you on today.
Thank you so much, Chris and Carmine. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. Thank you.
Wow.
Well, so let's talk about you a little bit. So who is Carolyn? You know, I know you now from the show and from your product, Javamelts, which we'll get into a little bit. We're actually going to do a live demonstration today in her kitchen.
Yes, we are.
Who is Carolyn?
Well, my name is Carolyn Barber, and I'm 54 years old, and I'm from Smithtown, New York. I have three beautiful adult daughters. Danielle's 29, Kelly is 27, and Jessica's 25. Proudly, I can say they're all graduates with college degrees, and they all have successful careers. They're happy in their personal and professional lives. I'm married to my husband, who happens to be my high school sweetheart. We're married 32 years. And, you know, I'm anything that I do, I'm a very passionate person. I love people. I love to cook and bake and entertain and make fun cocktails and specialty coffees. And essentially, I just, you know, first and foremost, amazing to be a mom of three successful children. I put my heart and soul into them and into my marriage and my family and friends. And that's just about it. Here I am. I'm an entrepreneur. After I thought of the amazing idea of Javamelts Flavored Sugar in Valentine's Day of 2016.
No, I'm a sweet guy. Wait, did I say that right? I'm a sweet guy. I am a sweet guy, but I'm really a sweets guy. I love sweets. So this particular product really caught my attention, and I could validate. I get a chance to meet her family after the show. And that's where we met on America's Big Deal, and beautiful, beautiful children, great family, and I mean, extremely polite. So you did a really nice job. I was really happy that we had a chance to meet and have a chance to talk about your product. So let's talk about that for a minute. How did you come up with this amazing product?
Sure. So it was Valentine's Day 2016, and it was a cold morning in New York, and my husband had said, like, let me go get you a specialty cup of coffee. And it was so cold out, I actually felt guilty saying yes. So I was like, no, we'll just have coffee here. So he went to pour me a cup, and on the counter alongside of me were Valentine's Day cards for me and my daughters, and these amazing caramel and marshmallow candy-filled tarts, individually wrapped. And he went to pour me the cup of coffee, and I looked up at him, almost like where I'm standing. He was standing here and I was sitting over there. And I had that aha moment. I said, oh my gosh, I have the craziest idea. And he's like, okay, Carolyn. I was like, no, stop for a second. And I said, wouldn't it be amazing if I could pick this up, which is now Javamelts right here. I have sugar packets and I have baking pouches. And I said, wouldn't it be amazing if I could pick it up, open it up and drop it into my coffee and instantly have a gourmet flavored, European inspired, delicious specialty coffee in the convenience of my own home. I could bring it with me, wouldn't have to spend $5 or $6, wouldn't be loaded with the calories and God only knows what. And he was like, oh my gosh. So with that, with no prior experience in food or beverage, the idea was burning. Like anybody who describes how you just know. That idea overcomes you, it overpowers you. The passion and the obsession of what could be done with a product like Javamelts Flavored Sugar just literally made it impossible for me not to pursue it. So from that moment on, I literally, no pun intended, have ate, slept, and drank Javamelts and my family and my friends for 5.5, almost 6 years now.
You know, and Carolyn, you said a key word there, right? You acted. I hear a lot of people talk about their ideas and they don't act on them. You acted on your idea and turned it into a reality, right? So then you got this whole, now you got some interest, you got product, your mind's going. So you get all this stuff now, you got beautiful packaging, which we'll talk a little bit about that. That takes some skill as well and some time. But then you said, okay, I got to get this out in the public. People have to see it. So you applied to America's Big Deal. What happened? Talk about that process a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you that when America's Big Deal was seeking entrepreneurs, one of the criteria was, were you affected negatively by COVID? So let's start with that, because that's a big component of this. I lost my entire first wave of Javamelts, that entire company, after winning national product awards and hitting the pavement and doing all of that. I lost my entire company. And as that was all unfolding, I rebranded and I redirected and I pivoted. I did not give up and I dug my heels in deep and I resourced and I restarted. I hit the restart button. So that's what got me on America's Big Deal. I saw, I was on social media and I saw a story flash and it was like, America's Big Deal. I didn't belong to the association at the time, the Inventors Association. So I was like, that's how I found out. I literally stopped what I was doing. I ran into my computer. It was late at night. My husband's like, Carolyn, what are you doing? Please turn off the computer and come sit down and relax. I'm like, I'm doing something so important and I'll explain to you. And I was typing away literally like 90 miles an hour. And I was like, I got to get my application in. And I did. I filled out the requirements. I said a prayer and I hit send. Wow. And I got a response. And from that response, I was fortunate to move on to multiple rounds. I had a Zoom meeting with people who vetted me. And then from the vetting process, it happened. And I just am so grateful. And the experience was truly once in a lifetime for me and my family, literally.
And you know what's funny? I always say this, and Carmine knows this, like even my experiences with Good Morning America, you have to be present. If you're not present, it doesn't happen. Like, I drove 12 hours to get to that show, right? And this is how we met, right? I didn't know you. You didn't know me. We met after the show. I thought your product was cool. I thought the whole presentation was great. I talked to you a little bit. We stayed in contact. We've become friends now. It's just by being present, so many positive things can happen. So like when your husband said, come sit down, If you did and didn't do what you were doing and finish it up, it wouldn't have happened. So,
Right.
so I'd say that's a big role too, right? Having an idea, pursuing it, acting on it, and then being present is such a key spot.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you go through all that. Finally, you get some notification, right? They tell you you're going to be on the show.
Yeah,
What emotional state were you in when you finally heard that?
I cried.
Yep. Of complete excitement, right? There's so much work that goes into launching products, right? And if you haven't done it, you really don't know. But when you start putting your own cash in it, your time, your heart, and now somebody responds that we want you on our show, I can relate to it. The emotional state is unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's funny because a lot of people feel that like showing emotion and crying is like showing a weakness. But what people don't realize, who really haven't been in our positions, is that you work tirelessly and you devote every waking moment, whether you're with friends, family, or colleagues. You literally you're present in each moment, don't get me wrong, but you literally are struggling and hustling and literally putting yourself out there in the craziest ways. So I celebrated. I literally called my children. They were crying. I was crying. Like, it was amazing.
I'll tell you something about emotion. I've been watching this episode with Tom Brady, the man in the earth, and they have Rodney Harrison on. He's a safety for the Patriots, who actually won a couple of Super Bowls now with the Patriots back in the early 2003, 2004. He was talking about the emotional state to get to that level. Now, this guy is he's such a badass in football.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the top NFL safeties of all time. Hardcore. Yeah. He will knock your lights out. He's talking about getting there. He lost his mother along the way, and he started getting extremely emotional, something you would never expect out of a guy like that. Yeah. But the level he achieved and winning those Super Bowls and what it meant for his mother to watch that and to see him and now to lose her and what he accomplished and he had set out because of her. The reason why he had accomplished that was her. And he was breaking down emotionally. So I look at that. There's no way you can say that's a sign of weakness. That's a sign of incredible passion to achieve a certain level.
Yeah. I mean, like, seriously, like when I first thought of Javamelts Flavored Sugar, I basically said, this will be one day, will be, not could be, will be a global product. Now I have the amazing opportunity to, present it to the world on live television, which takes a ton of guts. I don't care what walk of life you are. I don't care what preparation. Nobody can prepare you for live television. Not one person. And people don't realize, you talk about moms. My mom was sick and couldn't be there. She's still sick now. And that was weighing tremendously heavy on me. She couldn't be in the audience. My dad stayed home with her and I was sick. So I had developed, a lot of people don't know this and wouldn't know this, but I had developed this infection in my face that I broke out with a rash, and my family thought that it was stress. I'm like, it could be stress, but I don't think so. So I go to the doctor. They're like, oh, it looks like poison ivy. I'm like, okay. So they put me on steroids, prednisone. I'm highly allergic to poison ivy, and I had been gardening, like cleaning up the yard or whatever. So I was like, maybe I did touch poison ivy. Who knows? A couple days later, the steroids aren't working. I call the dermatologist back up. I'm like, buddy, I'm going to be on national television in a few weeks. You have to get this fixed. They're like, okay, we think it's shingles. So now they take me off the steroids and they put me immediately on, antiviral drugs. Now, this is all that's going on, and America's big deal. I'm dealing with the producers. I'm dealing with my script. I have to submit my all of the information comes from you. They help you, they guide you, but your show is your show. So basically, this is all going on in the background. So the day that I showed up, to be on America's Big Deal with Javamelts Flavored Sugar, I was on tremendous amount of stress personally and like physically and personally, knowing that my mom was so sick and we didn't know what was wrong with her. And I was sick and I was trying to keep it together and not have my family worry about me. And my rash got worse and worse. And I actually had to ask the show for a special pass. I was like, listen, I know you want me there that day, but I'm really not doing well. I'm not feeling well. My face hurts and it itches and I'm very uncomfortable. I'd like to get my makeup done here. I'd like to have get as prepared as I can here so nobody has to touch my face. I was taking medication, like talk about the stress, So,
and everyone thinks it's easy, right? It's like that's what I'm saying. Nobody really knows what goes on. And the beauty, like even on pitches, even when I did Shark Tank, we had changed. We had so many changes on our script and our pitch and where you stand and how the product looks. Nobody knows that. That's what I mean, I feel like I'm pretty experienced now with being in front of a camera, that you can now do things that even make changes. No one will ever know. As long as you keep making the pitch, like in your case, like I had no idea. I didn't know any of that stuff until you told me. Would have never known that. And I was sitting, what? I don't know, 50, 60 feet away from you when you were doing your pitch.
I know, it's crazy. But and it's funny too, because the show was so in tune to what was going on with me that day. And there are a lot of last minute changes also during dress rehearsals and during that day. Literally, so you have this script that you remember, and my mind, I have a very good memory. So like when I say Javamelts Flavored Sugar is kosher, vegan, non-GMO, gluten-free, it's good for 2 years. It comes in 4 delicious gourmet flavors: hazelnut, mocha, French vanilla, and caramel. That just comes out of my mouth. Right. I eat, sleep, and drink this baby.
Right.
But when you're on live television and they have you walking here and you're walking there and you have people moving around you, furniture, props, dancers, presenters, that's not like any normal day by any means. No. So the adrenaline that you are feeling is crazy. But like right before, they were like, oh, we're going to grab you here for now. And we're going to do this here. And we're going to do that there. And you're literally like a person on pivot. Like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. And they were like, what's going on with Carolyn? They saw that I was upset and things were going on. So they brought me out to speak with Joy, which was like the coolest thing ever. And they were like, we want you to speak to them because we know what you put in to get here and we want you to succeed. So like, I can't even say enough good things about the entire experience for America's Big Deal and Javamelts Flavored Sugar. I made history on that show. I really do feel that way. And I'm sure you feel that way, Chris, too, with all of your accomplishments.
Yeah, definitely. So Carolyn, so you go through all this, no one knows what's happening, right? You get to talk to Joy before, then Scott looks at you, who's a really cool dude, Scott Evans. Really
Incredible.
Like him. He's down to earth. Really, I mean, he's been around all these famous people. He's just a good dude. So when he says to you, okay, Carolyn, your 2-minute pitch starts now.
Yep.
What happened?
That's it. You're in it to win it. You give it your best shot. I realized I caught myself a few times, like fumbling a little bit, and the show must go on. You do not catch yourself. You do not let people see you sweat. You put on your game face. I did slow down my pitch. It was a decision that I made. There's a timing element to it, but I just felt I needed America to see who Carolyn Barbright really was. And Carolyn Barbright really cares about the consumer and really cares about people. And I didn't want to rush through something and come off as being like, oh, thank God that's done.
Yeah.
What I did was I tried to show America my heart and who I really was and how fabulous Javamelts Flavored Sugar can fit into their lives. Obviously, I would have loved to prepare all the delicious items that I have available today in my kitchen. That can't happen. This is a show. This is timed. And, you know, as soon as you go on, somebody out there preparing for somebody else. So I gave it my best shot. And I am so proud of myself and having my children, Danielle, Kelly, and Jessica in the audience, and my husband, Tony. My in-laws were able to be there. My father-in-law started a company many years ago, and my husband has been working for his company and now has taken the reins along with his brothers. And the legacy that my father-in-law left to his children is really what I want to be able to leave to my daughters. And now Javamelts Flavored Sugar is becoming a household name. And there's no greater feeling of accomplishment than being able to stand here and tell you. And it's just the craziest thing ever.
And I think, you know, having your family audience is just like another incredible milestone. I know for me, even when I proposed live to Brandy on Good Morning America, like I've done that quite a few times, but even that moment for me with my 21-year-old at the time was different. Like I felt like they're going to hand me a mic and it's going to be live. And I felt like, okay, I got 2 minutes. I need to get my lines down, my story. It's a script that's in my head. You can't make a mistake because especially in front of a 21-year-old, he'll never let me live it down.
Well, you know, the crazy thing about America's Big Deal is everything that comes out of your mouth has to be approved, okay? Because there are a lot of things that, you know, they have to verify. Is your product truly gluten-free? Is it kosher? You have to provide, you know, it's made with pure cane sugar and natural flavors. You have to provide proof for all of that. You have to, you know, so you can't make a mistake, and you really can't ad lib, because if you ad lib and it's not an approved, you know, pre-approved, you know, what's coming out of your mouth. Like, so there's an aspect of that element too. It's like, you know, Joy said to me, Carolyn, you've got this, you've done this a million times, but as many times as you do it, nobody can prepare you for live television. And I think watching all of the amazing entrepreneurs, let's just say this, because I've watched every show. I've taped, if I haven't been able to sit down live, I tape the shows and I go back and watch. And I am truly in awe of all of the entrepreneurs and their accomplishment and what it took to be able to get onto the show and meet every single requirement. I mean, if that's not motivating and inspiring for other people who aspire to become an entrepreneur and to bring their products and ideas to fruition, you know, I don't know what is. It really, what a gift.
You know, think about it, right? Like Scott is a veteran, right? Joy, they're veterans. They're in cameras. Scott does this for a living. So you expect that from him, right? But an entrepreneur, an inventor, you don't expect them to come up with a product and then be able to also get in front of a camera and sell it, right? I mean, obviously it's a good skill set to have, but not everyone has that. But someone like Scott does this for a living, you do expect that from him. So yeah, you're exactly right. So when I look at it, like people, I can even recall some friends of mine now who are on Shark Tank. Some of them stuttered and skipped and froze, and well, I used to ride them hard on it. You realize you just froze in front of 10 million people. And then after I went through it, I said, Lord, I see how it could happen. It's absolutely incredibly stressful. And if you don't have it, you don't know it, or you try to do it on a script and you lose your spot. If you can't recover, the amount of stress that hits you is incredible. So I can see how it happens. So I remember calling them later and said, okay, I'll never do that to you again. I get it now. But I mean, if you're not there, you haven't done it, you don't know.
You don't know. And that's the thing. Like, people can scrutinize you all that they want. And that's the other thing. Like, I think it's important for the listeners to know, you have to be fearless. If you believe and you're passionate enough about your product, and you have customers, which I have customers that come back again and again and again. and they rave about Javamelts and how it's enriched their lives and changed, their daily routines. And they've shared it with friends and family that buy it as gifts. Like, oh my gosh, like on a small scale. And I say a small scale because there are 370 some odd million people in America. So, I'm able to touch, thousands of lives, right? So now I want to translate that into, I want the world to know about Javamelts. I want everybody to have if you have sugar in your home, if you have sugar in your workplace or your place of business, whether you own a restaurant or a cafe or whatnot, Javamelts Flavored Sugar is a product that literally has such mass appeal and application. It's just, I mean that my children every single day, from the minute that I told them about Javamelts Flavored Sugar, they were so positive and encouraging, and they never were like, well, what if? They're like, Mom, you have to do this, because if you don't do it, somebody else is going to, and you will live to regret it. And that is absolutely, they are my reason why. Every time I get knocked down, I pick myself up, I dust myself off, I show them my vulnerable moments, I share with them the emotion, but the positivity that comes out of it and the encouragement and the family bonding, words can't even describe how.
Carolyn, I call that leadership. You don't even realize it at times. An entrepreneur that gets involved in all these different opportunities, what you have done is leadership, showing your family, your kids, what it's like to take it to the next level. I always felt like I do well under pressure. That's my sweet spot, right? When I'm under pressure, I always do well. So I feel like that's something I taught my kids. Like nothing scares me. Although inside, a lot of emotion, right? You're in front of a national, you don't want to make a mistake. You see what happens when somebody does or what happens, but it's all about leadership. And I commend you for that. You've done an amazing job. You had an amazing pitch. You have an amazing product. So much I can almost smell it through the camera. So now it's time to show us this wonderful product.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Let's go. Go ahead. Let's start brewing up. Show us what you got here. Every house in America should have this.
Okay. First, I'm going to start off with making an amazing, delicious 1-minute whipped cream. And then I'm going to make a specialty coffee with the whipped cream. So
see, Carmine, now you know why the next show we're doing it live at Carolyn's house.
I'm hungry just watching this.
If you could smell what my house smells like on a regular basis, because obviously Javamelts is everywhere. It's in my kitchen cabinets. It's on my coffee bar. But I can tell you what I've baked here. I had to lock we have a cat. She's adorable, this little rag doll. And I had to lock her upstairs because she would be crying, begging. I mean, it's crazy. So I'm just going to show you quickly.
Well, I'm getting close to that now.
So do I need to bring you closer? Or
no, it's good. It's perfect.
Good.
Okay. So I'm pouring in, heavy cream. I'm not going to do any measuring. I'm just going to make it quick. So I'm pouring in some heavy cream, and with the heavy cream, I'm going to add, I happen to favor the caramel Javamelts is my hero flavor. Second to that, and just a close second, is my French vanilla. My French vanilla is the most subtle of the 4 flavors, but people, this caramel flavored Javamelts flavored sugar is just, when I tell you the aroma, it's Javamelts Flavored Sugar is an experience from the minute you open the package.
Just having the bags around, the whole kitchen smells good. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Let's see the product. Can we see the product? What does it look like? Just like sugar, right?
So I'm going to, so this is the pouch bag it comes in. I have a baking version and I have sugar packets. But as I pour it in, it's just granulated flavored sugar. That's it. It's pure cane sugar and natural flavors. Wow. There's nothing else in it. And then I'm going to put my mixer on for 1 minute. Now it's gonna make a little, and I'm gonna cover it with a towel because the heavy cream will go everywhere.
See, I think the next one, we got to get Martha
1
Stewart
minute.
on. We'll get her on with Carolyn, right? It'll become a cooking show.
Can put it on for a minute. We'll check it. But when I tell you, like, it's that easy to make something special with Javamelts Flavored Sugar by simply swapping out ordinary sugar for Javamelts Flavored Sugar, you instantly enhance and elevate any food or beverage recipe, just like that. And a lot of people ask, well, how do you know how much to use? Listen, every recipe has sugar, an amount. If you like more sugar, put more Javamelts. If you like less sugar, put less Javamelts. It's the same equation that you would, it's 1 for 1. You know, from making simple syrups to sugar rimming martini glasses to making creme brulee and flavored cheesecakes. Like, it just goes on and on and on.
Wow.
So let me check this and see if it might be ready.
Come on, she might give you some competition on your coffee. I like Carmine's coffee setup in his office.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? I'm on Amazon buying this stuff right now.
Yeah. So I'll tell you real quick. Javamelts is still available. The best deal of the season is still available on America's Big Deal.
Oh,
So search for Javamelts Flavored Sugar. You get 4 pouch bags for $30 with free shipping as my special gift to you. You're not going to get that deal anywhere else. I'm on Amazon.com, and of course I have Javamelts.com. And I have the most amazing recipes, from espresso martinis to whipped coffee to bread pudding to flavored nuts. I mean, it just goes on and on. How many things you can make. So now,
So you're saying go to America's Big Deal, the website, which is on USA Network on Thursdays, 9 p.m. Go to that website and you'll get 4 of those beautiful pouches you see
bags
for $30.
I'm ordering
Yep.
now.
Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a quick specialty coffee. So can you guys see me?
Perfect.
Yeah, we see you.
Okay.
I can smell the
So-
coffee.
So, yep. So here's coffee. So I'm just going to pour it like 3/4 of the way. And then I actually have some Kahlua here. So for really, really nice specialty coffee for your guests at the holidays, you're going
Those are
to
my
take,
favorites, the Kahlua and the Bailey coffees. Those are my favorite.
yep. So you're going to take a shot of Kahlua and you're going to put it into your specialty coffee like so. Okay. And then I take the whipped cream that I just made with the caramel Javamelts Flavored Sugar, and I'm going to take a dollop of whipped cream and I'm going to put it on top.
Yeah, I'm really
Now-
jealous now.
You could put as much or as little whipped cream as you like. I happen to love a lot of whipped cream. So I'm really putting it on. Okay. And
That's
then,
my kind of coffee right there.
oh my gosh.
That is
And
my
then-
kind of coffee.
Look, I mean, come on. So
Wow.
first of all, it smells amazing. Okay. Second of all, I mean, this whipped cream, bomb, a total game changer. You could be the hero of your next holiday or work party. Nobody has to know what your secret ingredient is until after. Don't tell anybody. Just say, oh, I whipped something up quick. I hope you like it. So
Come on, I mean, I got to give it to her. I think she's got you outdone now. I
listen,
mean,
better than
like,
my
I haven't
coffee.
tasted it, but I know what it's going to taste like. It's right in my
Listen.
sweet spot, literally.
when I tell you, it is so delicious. Oh my
Wow.
God, is it 12 o'clock? This has Kahlua in it.
No, it's 12:25. You're good. It's
Oh,
always
I'm
say
good,
12
I'm
o'clock
good.
somewhere, right?
I'm good. So I filled it a lot. So I'm being very cautious, but look at how delicious as I stir this in.
Yeah, beautiful.
It is
Wow.
whether you're in a anywhere, a restaurant, own a restaurant, own a cafe, any place of business, but to do this for the holidays for your friends and family, it's delicious.
Yeah, cheers.
Wow. That's awesome.
I want one. All right. So what else you got there? I see you got something that you can eat with that that coffee.
I didn't
So
know this was
now-
a cooking show, Chris. This is
I
great.
told you that's what we're gonna do next. Get Martha Stewart on, get Carolyn. We're gonna do a whole cooking
Oh my
episode.
gosh. Oh my gosh, I'm ready. So now I want to show you my second hero that I love making is my espresso martinis. So this is a plate, this is a martini glass, and this is a plate with honey. I like to use the honey because it's a little more sticky and it adds just a little bit more of a home for the Javamelts. So I roll my martini glass in the honey, and then I happen to like the mocha Javamelts for this recipe. So just for the sugar rim, I'm sugar rimming the glass,
Wow.
and it's just that simple. You could use water too, but
And I feel like we're on QVC right now, Carmine.
Yeah.
oh my gosh. So now I have my sugar rim glass. So now I'm going to take my mixture. I have Kahlua, vodka, espresso, and I added a little simple syrup that I made with Javamelts Flavored Sugar too. Simple syrup is just 1 part water, 1 part sugar. So it's Javamelts Flavored Sugar. And I used the hazelnut in the simple syrup, kind of give it like a little Nutella, because you have the coffee liqueur, you have the mocha sugar rim. So I use the hazelnut in here. Now you have to give me a second because I have to get ice. I just have to get ice. 1
Hey,
second.
Carmine, I think we're gonna do a live show at Carolyn's house next time. I mean,
Yeah.
this is, we should be enjoying some of that coffee
This
and
is
some
awesome.
of these terrific
Okay,
beverages and that
So-
coffee cake that's sitting over there that I want a piece of.
so I'm gonna put the ice, I'm back. I'm going to put the ice in here, and then I'm going to put my mixture in here, and I'm just going to give it a really good shake. And the more you shake it, the more froth you get. Now, you mentioned Baileys. You can even use Baileys in this recipe. You don't have to use the Kahlua. But I stick with the recipe that, friends and family like most.
I make these killer mudslides, so I'll be using the new sugar recipe with that. Do you get to make my own
Absolutely.
whipped cream?
So I poured it a little short, but
That
this is
looks
my
great.
espresso martini.
Look at how
So
good.
simple, so
Nice.
easy, so delicious. That's simple. And it's delicious.
Wow.
Yeah, see, Carmine, look at this. She's
He
getting all
had
the
to drink
benefits.
it on us. He's
We're
making
just
it
like this is almost unfair.
torture.
I'm sorry. It's delicious. It's delicious. So
And then she has
I'm
the
gonna-
best part is she has right now a beverage, a cocktail, an adult beverage, right? An adult coffee, and then she's got look behind her that coffee cake. I want a piece of that.
okay. So this is a house favorite.
Oh,
So
that looks
whenever I go
amazing.
somewhere, people ask, Carolyn, can you please bring your crumb cake? I'm like, okay. So several years ago, one of my daughters played Division II lacrosse in college, and we were at a tailgate, and this amazing woman made crumb cake that I never had tried before. And I begged her, I was like, I know it's a family recipe. You have to share it with me. So I have been making this crumb cake for years now. And I just didn't think it could get better until we created Javamelts Flavored Sugar in the granulated pouch bags for baking. So I make the base of the cake a special way. And then I made caramel flavored Javamelt crumbs. So with my butter and with my flour and the other ingredients are in here, this is topped with the aromatic and delicious Javamelts caramel flavored crumbs. Okay. And then on the top, I'm going
I
to
think you
show
might be able to sell that cake as well to go with the sugar.
Oh my gosh.
I
Oh my
think
gosh.
he needs to be a HSN spokesperson, is what I'm
No.
thinking.
No, do you know that I made this crumb cake for the team at America's Big Deal? And when I went for not dress rehearsal, but the day before, when I went for my first dry run through, I brought it to the producers and the dancers and you have no idea. I was like, guys, I have to share. So you don't think I'm really this crazy sugar lady. I have to really share what I can make with it. So this is what I'm going to show you now. I mixed up for aesthetics. I mixed half part confectioner sugar and half part Javamelts flavored sugar in the sugar topping. So I'm going to sugar coat the top of the crumb cake. So I put some in my sifter, my little sifter. I'm going to hold it up so you can see it nice and close, and how simple and delicious and amazing this tops off the crumb cake.
Wow.
It just, I mean, look at that. And the aroma, I mean, like I literally carry it places, or it's in my car and I leave it and I go back in my car to get it. Even when I come back into my car and it's gone, my car still smells so incredible. Like really, it's crazy. So now this crumb cake is ready to cut and serve just like that.
Wow. That is I'm telling you, you might want to consider selling that crumb cake.
Listen, if I had the bandwidth and I was insane enough, I probably would consider it, but I have my hands full with Javamelts flavored sugar. I'm not even considering this, but what I do share is my love for cooking and baking and hospitality and specialty coffees and teas and delicious cocktails with Javamelts flavored sugar. Like the possibilities are endless. And for anybody who's listening, listen, we all know people who love to indulge in food and drink and who own businesses. So the greatest gift that everybody could give me is just to share my story and let people know that Javamelts exists, because that's been to date the hardest components of what I've done. I mean, from idea to bringing it to market, to losing my entire company, to, you know, bouncing back and here I am to stay. My struggle now is I have limited money, and it takes money to run ads and to get your product out there in the masses. So I just want to take the time, really, Carmine and Chris, to thank you again for being on Made in America podcast, because it truly is like one of the most amazing holiday gifts that anybody could give me.
Carolyn, you're an amazing person. I knew that the minute I met you, and this was incredibly fun today to watch this. It's an amazing product. So again, USA Network. It's on Thursday evenings, 9 p.m. Carolyn's episode is season 1, episode 4. If you want to go to that and watch it, you can buy her product. But tell the audience one last time, Carolyn, where they can find it, with size pouches and the offerings.
Yep. So I have Javamelts flavored sugar, comes in 4 delicious gourmet flavors: hazelnut, mocha, French vanilla, and caramel. It conveniently comes in resealable, recyclable pouch bags in 1.5 pounds in the 4 flavors: French vanilla, caramel, mocha, and hazelnut. And it conveniently also comes in sugar packets, same size offering as any other sugar packet. It's 2.55 grams, which is a half of a teaspoon. They're 10 calories each, pure cane sugar and natural flavors, kosher, gluten-free, vegan, non-GMO, shelf-stable for 2 years. And the sugar packets and the pouch bags are available on Amazon.com. If you have Prime, they can be shipped to you in a day or two. And also on Javamelts.com. The special deal of the season that is still available is on USA Network, America's Big Deal, Javamelts, for 4 pouch bags for baking, artisan cocktails, coffee, teas, and more, for the special price of $30, which includes free shipping, as my special holiday gift to you.
Wow, that's
Outstanding.
fantastic.
Well, this was a great show, Carmine. It's a lot of fun. So, Carolyn, thanks again. I really appreciate it. Amazing product, amazing person. Go watch your show, episode 4, America's Big Deal. You won't regret it.
Awesome.
Thank you. I just can't thank you enough. So listen, it's the holiday season. I wish everybody health, happiness, prosperity for the new year, and just blessings to everybody. Really, life is so precious, and I just hope everybody really has a joyous holiday season. Thank you so very much.
Wow. Awesome, Carolyn. So great. We're so proud of you. Awesome product. Awesome way to display it. Of course, now we're hungry and thirsty, but you did such a great job. And we thank all you listeners out there. Please go on out. Make sure that you grab some of this, not only for you, but for your guests, for your friends and relatives. This is a great deal. USA Network and the America's Big Deal show. With all you listeners, please go on out to Google Play, iTunes, and also YouTube, the Launch Network, wherever you consume your podcasts and video material. We'd love to hear from you on social media. Let us know. Make sure you subscribe. And for myself, Carmen Danisco, for Ms. Christopher Guerrera, and of course, Carolyn and her great Javamelts, we thank you. Have a great holiday, and we will catch you next time on Made in America. You all take care.